I think my fight or flight response might be triggered. How hard this part. Hello and welcome back to Aggressively Average, a series where we are just trying to do our best because that's all anyone can ever ask of you. Now today, because of my very first ever subscriber, I hope you're subscribed, very first ever commented suggestion, we will be trying to make the LA cakes. I am pretty sure, I'm 99% sure this is what you mean, but if I am wrong, please do tell me. But I'm very excited to do this. I am not following a strict recipe, as I couldn't really find one, as it seems to be built up of lots of different elements. But my toxic trait is really thinking I can do this. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for commenting. And if anybody has any other suggestions, I would be keen to hear them. My plan for this is to make like an apple crumble type. Okay, I need to actually give you more context. Hang on. I have these apple molds. How I'm gonna get them out of the mold when they're frozen, I don't know. I'm willing to sacrifice 2 and cut them out of the mold if I need to, because I don't need 8 apple molds. 6 would suffice. So my plan is to make an apple version of the LA dessert. I've got this ice cube tray which has teeny tiny little ice cube balls. My plan is to make an apple crumble type filling. I'll make it on the stove because we're not gonna be cooking these. Fill it with these, then turn that into a frozen ball. Put the frozen ball in this, surrounded by mousse, and then freeze it completely. The only part of this that scares me is the mousse. Never made a mousse. Been Googling recipes, doesn't look super easy. So we're gonna start with the apple crumble filling. I actually have zero idea of how much filling to make. So I'm gonna start with maybe 2 apples and then do a third if I think it needs it. I'm cutting up the apples really, really small because obviously they've got to fit in these teeny tiny molds. So that's what it looks like. That's all the apple cut up into teeny tiny pieces. I think that's small enough. Now, because I'm not gonna cook this down in the oven, because we're not actually making a crumble, my plan is to just do it on the hob and cook it down on that. So there's a tablespoon of flour. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour. I'm gonna do a third of a cup of sugar. It's almost a random amount. Yep, ordinarily, I would squeeze my own lemons, but I am just gonna use lemon juice. I'm just gonna fill up the third of a cup. Halfway? Yeah, maybe a bit more. Inspiration from this recipe, not following this recipe, and some ground cinnamon. So this is what it's looking like. I'm just gonna cook this down until, I don't know, I guess, until I feel like it feels good. It smells good, but that's just cinnamon. If I just sniffed some cinnamon, it would smell good. This is what it's looking like as it boils down. Let me tell you, smells amazing. My plan is just to let most, but not all of the liquid boil out, because then we need some liquid for it to freeze into those little molds, I think. It's my thinking. I mean, is that already there maybe? Is that already kind of burning to the bottom? Let me try some. Oh, hot, hot, oh, hot. You know, it's only been on there for a minute, so there's no way, oh God. Yeah, it's definitely red. Oh, the sugar is caramelizing, so it's definitely done. It needs to be done. This is what it's looking like slop. So I'm gonna put this in the molds and then it needs to freeze. This is what the apple is looking like in the tray. So the plan is they freeze perfectly and we pop them out and form little balls out of them, put 2 together, and then they'll go inside the apple. Now is the only part of this process that I am worried about. It's making the vanilla mousse. Could have made a chocolate mousse, that seems to be easier, but I just had it in my head that I want a vanilla mousse. I'm going to be using classic vanilla mousse recipe from If You Give a Blonde a Kitchen. It's got 4.9 stars, so I mean that's very good. But then Sally had very good reviews as well. Sally. All right, I'm already nervous. I've got to calm down. So the first step is to sort out the gelatin. And honestly, what I learned from my mirror glaze video, if you haven't watched that one, go watch it. It was disastrous, disastrous. But it's because I can't open this. But I didn't realize you had to remelt the gelatin. After it blooms, you've got to microwave it to melt it back down. So I was just trying to use it as a solid and it didn't work. So hopefully the gelatin works better this time and I can learn something about gelatin. 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. 1.5 teaspoons of gelatin powder. This is a teaspoon. Set aside to bloom, setting it aside. Whisk together 4 egg yolks, just the yolks. So don't do it in the bowl because you'll get the whites. Okay, look at me thinking ahead. Proud of my decision making. 4. I'm like rereading every step to make sure that the amount that they want in the recipe isn't the same amount as it was in the instructions. Paul Hollywood. Sugar, just a pinch of salt, and we whisk. It doesn't say how long to whisk for, but I think that feels good, looks good. It would say whisk a lot if it meant whisk a lot. Now we're onto the hard part. In here I have my whole milk and vanilla. It is meant to be vanilla paste, and we've got vanilla extract. And I'm gonna be honest, unless you've won the lottery, you're not going to get vanilla paste because that is just too expensive. I usually have imitation vanilla. You should be so grateful that we have real vanilla extract and not vanilla made from beaver pea. Okay, so I have to read the instructions very, very carefully. In a saucepan over a medium-high heat. Okay, let's lower it down to a medium. Whisking constantly. About 5 minutes. I've switched to the wooden spoon because that feels better. I don't know what to do, right? Because it's only been a minute, but that's very bubbly at the edge. And like that's scorching. Do I just call it there because it's gotten too hot too quickly? Am I supposed to wait 5 minutes? Should it have been on a very low heat? Yeah, I'm doing it, I'm calling it. Removing from the heat, Jesus. Now, I believe I need to pour half a cup of this in here, let it mix, and then put all of this in here and cook it more. Sorry, this has been a hard one to film because I'm going from hob to counter and counter to hob, and I only have my phone. I film everything on my phone. I should really get a camera. Anyway, enough about me. So, don't really know how to stop it burning. Maybe the heat needs to be lower. Maybe I'll go off of, let's move hobs because that hob is just massive. Let's move hobs. Okay, more reasonable hob. But I guess it's got to thicken like a custard. It does kind of look like a custard. Like, that's quite custardy. Ooh, she's starting to boil and thicken. Look at it boil. Feels thicker. I don't really know when you call it. Bad news. I think it's curdled. Do I have to start again? Is this what happens on Bake Off? Oh, I don't want to start again. It's 4 eggs. Oh, that's not custard anymore. It's scrambled eggs. Okay. I actually do remember this from Bake Off, and it is very difficult to make custard. Now I know. I was like, oh, it's getting really thick. It's getting really thick, and then it's split. So we live and we learn. I'm not going to cook it for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes seems like way too long. So I'm going to do it again. We're going to speed through it. We're going to do it again. Oh, the whole thing again. Okay. We got to do it again. We got a choice. Telling you, if this doesn't work this time around, I can't do it a third time because I don't have it in me to waste that many eggs. I'm just going to keep it really, really low. And as it starts to thicken, I'm just going to take it off the heat. As soon as it starts to boil like it was at one point, I'm going to call it there because it like split not long after that. So just gently, 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 gently. I have seen on Bake Off how temperamental a custard is, but you don't know till you try it, do you? Okay, I feel like I've been here for ages and it's not boiling, so I'm starting to think maybe I'm doing it right because her 10-minute time is starting to make a bit more sense. And you see, it's not burnt on the sides like it was the first time. I think I just let it get way too hot. The fear inside me doing this right now. Level of anxiety that I did not think baking would give me. And I think my fight or flight response might be triggered. It's custard. You're making custard. Why is my fight or flight response triggered? Please don't split. Please don't split. Please don't split. I believe we have a boil. I'm taking this off the heat, off the heat, off the heat, off the heat. Off the heat. Okay, got to make sure that doesn't curdle. Don't you dare curdle. If you split, I will throw you out. No, I won't throw you out the window. I'll just be very sad. Okay, I have to boil the gelatin for 10. Sorry, boil. I'm getting all excited. I have to put the gelatin in the microwave. Gelatin's looking like. No idea if that's correct. Let's put this in the microwave. Okay, here is the gelatin. In order to get that gelatin to melt, even just to the degree that it's melted at, I had to microwave that for ages, like a minute. And she said 10 seconds, but I want it to be smooth before I put it in here. And I'm having to whisk too many things constantly. I can't whisk everything constantly. Half of that went on the spoon. I'm gonna pour it into here. I think I saw a lump of gelatin. We're just going to ignore that. That has the cling wrap on top, and it's right on top because I think it's meant to stop that from making a film. This is what it looks like. I mean, it looks like custard, I guess. I'm just gonna put it in the fridge, and then it needs to go into the fridge for like at least 3 hours before we finish off the mousse. Okay, so they are chilling, and they've been chilling for like 2 or 3 hours. So I think it's time to continue with the mousse. So I've got to whip up the rest of the cream. Pouring in my cream, and then I'm gonna whip this till medium peaks form. What's a medium peak? Not 100% sure. I'm really worried about this custard. Ooh. Is that a medium peak? That feels quite medium peaky to me. That kind of feels medium peaky, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, that's gotta be about right. Okay, I think that's medium to stiff. So I think that should be good. So now I have to incorporate that into this. This has been chilling, it's very, very cold. It actually looks very set. I was worried it wasn't gonna set. Look at it. Oh, it actually feels very set, which is good. I think that's good. Guys, this is looking really good. My first ever vanilla mousse. I'm really proud of it. Look at that. Look at it. Those aren't lumps, they're air bubbles. They're air bubbles. It's delicious. That is I can't believe I've made that. This might work. This might work. I think I'm just gonna spoon them into the apple mold. I don't really know how else to do it. So these are filled almost to the top. I mean, that one's filled over, but just bang them down to make sure they're going all over the mold. We get my tray of frozen apple crumble middles. My plan is, you get a circle out, you get a circle out. So I've got my 2 little frozen halves, shove them together. I have a little apple crumble ball, and I put the apple crumble ball into the apple. Guys, this is all working out. Okay, I'm gonna put them all in, and then I'm gonna use the last of the mousse to just cover it all up, and we'll see how we go once it's all frozen solid. This is what my molds are looking like. So I'm gonna put them in the freezer, and then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll dip them in chocolate and see how they go. Hi, and welcome back to Aggressively Average. Oh, I already did the intro. It's just a new day. Hi, and welcome back to the next day. These have been frozen. They feel very frozen. They're frozen. The plan is to demold these, dip them in chocolate, and we're done. Nervous to get these out. Now, once I dip them in the chocolate, I'm gonna need somewhere to place them, like something to put them on. Every video I've seen on the internet has cute little placemats. I don't have those. Here are paper plates. I'm gonna cut these and turn them into placemats. Cute little placemats. They're a bit jaggedy around the edge, but whatever, who cares? It's part of the rustic charm, everybody. It's rustic. Let's try and take one out. It's pretty difficult. Okay, oh wait, we've got, look at that! Look at it! Look at it! That is an apple. That's cool! That is so cool, that is so cool. Okay, right, now I'm going to melt my white chocolate and put some green food dye. I thought about doing this the fancy way, where you do it properly on the, is it a bain-marie? I'm just gonna microwave it. I bought specifically gel food color. It looks super trendy, and I had to read about 15 times to make sure this was for food. So I don't think I want a lot. I specifically got gel because it's meant to be, oh God, a lot's going on. Because it's meant to be more intense, so you can use less food coloring and get the same results. Now my plan is to pour this into here, and then use a chopstick and dunk the apple in. Let's just see if it will work. In my head, it was like enough chocolate that you could fully submerge the apple. I've got a chopstick. I'm just gonna stab the apple. Yeah, in my head, it kind of like fully submerged in this glass, but I don't have enough chocolate. But that's okay, it's submerging. Ooh, look. Is the chocolate layer a bit too thick? Yes. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, can we save it? Didn't really go great. Not really what I had in my head. And also it didn't even dunk that. Okay. Not exactly what I was thinking, but not bad. Okay, they're coming out of the mold a bit easier. That's also not really the vibe I was going for. This is now all the chocolate I have. So even if I just get one good apple, I'll be really happy. Okay, I think my plan of using the really big round glass was a good plan, but it didn't work out that well, and I'm losing too much chocolate moving them from one to the other. So I'm just going to go for it in this and see what we can do. Then we just dunk. Better, maybe if I pour a little bit on top to cover the top. I think better around the sides. Terrible on top. Color-wise, what do we like? Do we like the lighter or the darker? I quite like the lighter, I think, actually. Oh, these are maybe getting a bit too warm. That's just a ball. That's not an apple at all, okay? I'm gonna put these back in the freezer. Dragon! I don't think we'll have enough chocolate for all 8, to be fair. I thought this would be the easiest part. It's actually surprisingly hard. Okay, look. They're not looking great. I underestimated how hard this part. I underestimated how hard this part would be. The problem is my chocolate's now getting quite thick and I don't think I can melt it again because it's gonna risk burning it. Oh God. Ooh. This is getting worse as we go on. All right. We've hit our limit as to what we can achieve. Okay, so I did manage to get 6 somewhat covered in chocolate. Some are better than others, and sometimes that's just the way it goes. I do think actually the method, see if I had just gotten that smooth, I think what you need is a big cup completely filled to the brim with chocolate, so you dip it in, you pull it out, but even then I think it actually is more difficult than you think. Like, okay, we won't look at that one. You go to the back. That one is probably the best that we have. None of the tops really came out very well. Look at that. Look at it. That is something. In order to make the stems, my plan was just to melt some chocolate, some dairy milk, and just put them on a piece of paper, like a parchment paper in a line stem. My stems, I'm just gonna let them cool down and then just shove them on top of the apples and we'll go from there. The chocolate has set, so I'm just gonna stick them on, really. Well, okay. Like a stem. Oh, what was my plan for making these stick on? I just thought they would stick. Yeah, I'm gonna put them in the hole that the chopstick made. Yeah, that's my plan. Okay, well this one doesn't really have a hole. That one could just be on top. Okay, and we're done. What a journey. You know, I think they look okay. They look okay. Would you think that was an apple? Don't answer that. You know what? That one doesn't look too bad. Honestly, nor does this one. I'm gonna pick this one because this is a sadder looking one, but it's still got enough chocolate on it that I can taste the whole thing. So, you know what? It's very tasty. It really explodes when you bite into it. The mousse I made was delicious. That's your apple filling. You really get hit with the cinnamon. That is a fun dessert. It's tasty, the mousse is really nice. My final thoughts. I'm quite proud of this one. I think you could kind of tell that's an apple. The part of this that I didn't think would be so hard is actually the dipping in the chocolate, and that actually is very, very hard. I'm really proud of what I've achieved here. I'm very proud of that vanilla mousse, and this was really, really fun. If you have any more suggestions, let me know. Let me know how you think I did. I didn't nail it, but it was aggressively average. New videos every other weekend. Bye.